Tonight with Contractor Secret Weapon. Tonight we have a special guest with us. Pete Mitchell has been with us before, actually on podcast number 6.
Lucky number 6.
Lucky number 6. And it's kind of funny because today I listened to it and I'm going, Dave, you're really bad at this. That was number 6. This is going to be like 41 or 42, so things have progressed a little. And back on number 6, you can all go back to it. We're not going to go through any little bit of that tonight, but basically we talked about direct response, and Pete actually went into stating that it was more of immediate response marketing, which I thought was pretty awesome. So Pete just he just wrote a new book, and we're going to have him talking about it tonight. And in reality, it's about immediate response to the core, isn't it?
It is. It absolutely is. It's about getting buyers, getting leads right now, and in some cases, within minutes. So
that's pretty awesome. What's the name of your book?
It is What Everybody Ought to Know About Facebook Advertising, How You Too Can Generate Hot Qualified Leads in the Next 20 Minutes with Facebook.
I think that's pretty awesome in a sense, because you take, and a lot of guys will put together ads, put together postcards, and they'll put it out, and they'll come back a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month later to find out that their ad sucks, and they get no results. With the way that you teach how to do the Facebook ad, man, it's like instant.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up, because I've actually told this to people before they do their Yellow Page ad or their postcard. Why don't you test that on Facebook and see if it works there? Because if it works there, then you know it's going to work in your other medium, and you're going to know right away. The difference is with Facebook, you can test with, usually what I tell people is you test with $50, and you see what happens with $50. When you're doing a mail drop, like I've got one client that we do 2 postcards a month to about 2,000 people each time we do it. Because we're using the every door direct mail system from the post office, it's still the cheapest way to do a mail drop, but it's still $1,200.
Wow.
And that's $1,200. If I can test with 50 and know that it's going to work, and then spend $1,200, that's a better deal than testing with $1,200, finding out it didn't work at all, and then going, okay, well, now I got to figure out something else.
Yeah, and you're like $1,200, man. And I like the $50 deal. And the cool thing too is that if you spend $0, your ad sucks.
Well, that's true. And what Dave is referring to in that is the beauty of Facebook ads, and really it's most ads that are on the internet, most of what is commonly referred to as a pay-per-click. It's exactly that. You're only paying when someone clicks on your ad, as opposed to paying when someone sees your ad. So when you do newspaper marketing and advertising, you're paying them $650, $1,000, whatever it is, for the size ad that you've got, and they're telling you, okay, this newspaper goes out, and we've got 20,000 subscribers, and we sell another 15,000 on the streets, and blah blah blah, all this other. So you're paying for an impression. So you hope, right? Really, you're paying to be included in part of that 30,000 that gets sent out, and obviously, everyone doesn't read all of the paper, and that's why you're trying to get on the front page, but that's too expensive. So, you're trying to work out all these deals to get seen, because not everyone's going to see it. With Facebook, the beauty of it is you're just paying when someone interacts with your ad, and so like you were saying, if you don't want money, then that means your ad really sucked, but at least it didn't cost you any money.
Right.
It kind of works that way. Facebook will still make you spend money, meaning they're going to find somebody to interact with your ad. But what they do is they tell you the metrics. So they'll say, hey, this ad was seen by 10,000 people, and by the way, 3% of them responded to your ad. So 3% of them clicked on it. And I actually look at those kind of metrics a lot, because that actually does affect your pricing on Facebook. the more interaction with your ad you get, the better pricing you get. But that's how I know if an ad's not pulling well. So if I've got an ad that's getting, 0.3%, or people are interacting with it, I got a problem with my message. My message is not matching up with the market that I'm giving it to. And I actually do have an ad right now. Before you called me today, Dave, for this podcast, all day long I've been working on Facebook ads for my different clients that I've got. And I've got this one client. I was looking at his numbers tonight because he's like the success story that every marketer loves to brag about, because we're like, woohoo, look at this guy. I mean, it's a sweet story. And just to be fair, I've got plenty of stories that I could show you where that didn't work. It sucked, right? So I don't want to say like everything's roses all of the time, because it just doesn't work that way. But he's got an interesting business. He basically does bookkeeping and payroll for churches and every once in a while small businesses. And so he's got a service that he charges $300 a month for. And he read my book, What Everybody Ought to Know About Facebook Advertising, and he calls me up and he says, hey, I read your book over the weekend. I feel like I can actually go out there and start running some ads. And lo and behold, because of one of the niches I'm in, one of the verticals I'm in, I get various ads that are sent to pastors, which is who his ideal client is a pastor of a church. And obviously I recognize it as soon as I see it. And so, I take a screen capture of it, I follow it through, and I go, hey, by the way, I saw your ad today, and I just want you to know, don't give up on Facebook, because I don't think it's going to work the way you think it's going to work. And it was funny because after he ended up, a couple of weeks later, he came on as a client, and so we were going through his numbers, and I said, I want to know how this ad pulled, because I didn't think it was that good of an ad. And he's like, well, we figured out the numbers, and it was like $9.50 a lead. And I'm like, man, that's actually really good. Like, I didn't think this ad was going to be very good, and it's still only costing you $9.50 a lead. That is pretty cool. And then by the end, he had actually changed what's called the landing page, which is someone clicks on the ad and it takes them somewhere. He had a new website built, so he had this really fancy landing page. And I was like, oh, I bet you your numbers went down, right? And he's like, yeah, well, I think, they've already seen my ad. The market's softening, right? That's everyone's excuse. And I'm like, no, actually, the ugly landing page worked really well because people knew what they were supposed to do. Your new one looks like a beautiful website, but no one has it. And so his lead numbers were still, with the horrible website, or the horrible landing page, were still $16.23 a lead, which is, it's $16 a lead, and he sells a $300 a month service where people become a client and they never leave, and I'm like, that's still a sweet deal. Now, to be fair, yeah, it's a great return. And when I took over and I started running ads for him, the very first day, we had 3 new $2 a piece. And so, I'm just joking around. I'm smarting off, right? And I go, hey, look at this. I got them for $2. I go, I'm just telling you this. Don't expect it to stay at that level, because, this is like, it just happened to be $2. Here we are. We're over 170 leads later, and his lead cost, as of earlier today when I was looking, is $2.46 a lead. So it did go up. It went up about 46 cents.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what it does all over the place.
How's his conversion rate on that?
Well, that's the thing. And here's what we set up for him, because that's actually a great question, because everyone likes to look at lead cost. What does the lead cost me? Well, the number one thing we got to look at is, what is our conversion cost, right? Not the lead, but what does it cost me to convert a client, and is that at an acceptable level?
Right. So
one of the first things I have every one of my clients do is we have to sit down and figure out, what are you willing to spend to acquire a new customer? So, my first question to him was, okay, you're charging $300 a month. What's your profit on that $300? And, it's like, you've heard this before, Dave. Everyone goes, well, I got enough of this gross around here. There's got to be some net somewhere, right? They're just looking at the gross numbers. He hadn't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
We sat down. We figured it out. The gal that he has, who actually does all the work, she can handle like 40 clients a month personally before he's even got to go hire another gal.
Wow.
So there's just all kinds of room on this thing for him to make plenty of money. So the conversion cost, here's what we did. He's got a long cycle because he goes after churches, like I mentioned, but they're usually just starting out as a church. And what that means is what we would commonly refer to as a church plant.
Sure.
For them, $300 a month is a big chunk of change. Now, we would look at that in business and go, you know, $300 to have someone do my bookkeeping? Here you go. Here's $300. Leave me alone. I don't want to ever see this again. But for these guys, it's a little bit longer. So he has to take that into consideration, that he's got a longer sales cycle. So what we do is we immediately start to interact with the people who become leads. So it starts with giving them the right lead bait, something that's going to make them say, hey, this guy's got what I want. I'm going to go ahead and raise my hand and ask for this lead bait. We will often do that with a free report, a free video, a free audio, a free webinar, whatever it might be. And then once they come into his funnel, we send them out an autoresponder email, and all we're doing is we're asking them one simple question. You know, it'll be like, you know, hey, Mike, I just wanted to find out a little bit more about you. Where's your church located? And it'll be just something simple like that. And at first he was looking at this and he goes, really, that's it? That's all we're going to say? I'm like, hey, that's all we're going to say, because we can't sell by yelling at people.
Right.
We've got to get them to interact with us. Dave, it's the same way with you. When you go out and you talk to a homeowner who needs to get their roof cleaned or wants to paint their house or wants to do something, you have to get in front of them so you can have this dialogue.
Sure.
It hasn't changed because it's on the internet. We still need to have that dialogue in this particular situation. So we're asking them one simple question, and usually about 20 to 25% of those people reply back to that first question. And so that starts the dialogue, and then he's able to interact with them via email and set up a time for a call. Now what we do is we have new emails scheduled to go out every 3 days. And the reason why we wait 3 days is because not everyone responds to their email right away, and we don't want to hit them with another question if they're going to respond. His job after they respond is to figure out, should they get the next question in the sequence, or should I take them out of the sequence? That's his job as the salesman to do. And so anyway, the long and the short of it is, we've basically got a 3 major question, I don't know if you'd call it a survey, just question follow-up system to get them to open up. And over those 3 questions, we usually end up with 50 to 60% of the people have responded to one of those questions.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's great because it's already led to, I think he told me just last Thursday, something like 5 new clients have come out of this. So his conversion cost is so ridiculously low, it doesn't even matter. But we looked at it as, this is a long-term plan here, because still 5 and we've generated 150 leads. That means there's 145 people who just aren't ready yet.
Right.
And
but still, you know, that's 5 more, and his at $300, I would say roughly that he would be willing to spend $100 per client.
Yeah, and I think
way below that.
He needs to be willing to spend a lot more, because
I know that, but I mean, but he's still right now, even on that 5, he's way below that.
Oh, he's way below that, absolutely. And he, at the same time, he ran an ad in a magazine, and he told me, he goes, I paid $1,700 for this ad, and I go, okay, how many leads did you get? And he goes, I got 80 leads. And so I'm like, all right, let me figure this out. And he goes, oh, I know what you're doing. You're going to figure out my lead cost.
Yeah.
I figured it out. It was like $21 or something like that, a lead. And he goes, so I guess you're going to tell me that Facebook is a better deal. And I go, well, now hold on a second. Not all leads are created equal. I happen to love Facebook, but it doesn't mean all leads are created equal. What that means is, you know, maybe these ones from the magazine will convert at a higher level. You know, maybe out of this 80, I don't know, maybe he gets 10. I have no idea. So they're not all created equal. But I go, but here's the real thing. out of these 80 leads, really, if you were willing to spend $300 to acquire a customer, which isn't even 10% of the first year, and mind you, his clients stick with them for years.
Right.
Like, basically, until the church goes out of business, they stay with him.
Well, that's because that's one of those industries that if you're happy, you're not looking for another accountant or CPA because that's too much of a pain in the neck.
Right, exactly. So, you know, and looking at it, I'm like, look, all you got to do, you know, whatever it was, 4 or 5 people to convert to make that $1,700 ad worth it. And I go, and here's the thing. That's still a good deal. Like $21 a lead is still a good deal if they convert. But that's the whole thing. Are they going to convert? You know, he's got to do his follow-up. He's got to have that in place. And
sure,
so he goes,
now his follow-up is going to be completely different than the Facebook ad because he's probably going to have to mail them something physically, unless he puts them on an email.
They actually, it was 80 people that came in. He's got their email addresses. They were requested, I think, basically the same lead bait we were using for his Facebook ads. They had requested that via email, so he could still put them into the same, you know, follow-up campaign. And I hope that he does that. And my advice to him was, I go, look, if it turns out to be profitable, still do it. Like, the worst position to be in is having only one source of leads.
Absolutely.
Like, all of your leads came in from Facebook, and Facebook changes things, which literally on the internet happens every day. Since I've come out with that book, there have been like 3 or 4 major changes. It didn't affect anything I talked about in the book because I knew not to talk about the technology side because it's going to change. And it was like the very next week were 2 major changes that came out. And, I mean, you know, that's just, you don't want to leave your business in a precarious position like that where all of your leads come from just one simple source.
No, because it's like, I forget who it was, but I think it was a dentist or somebody, and they says, what would, if you were going to give up one source of marketing, which one would you give up? And he goes, I don't know. He said, I have 75 different sources of marketing, and I get at least one a day from each one. Why would I give any of them up?
Right, exactly.
Because one's not going to work today, but it'll work tomorrow.
Right.
You know, so, I mean, it's just like covering all your bases.
Yeah.
It's like having a customer, forget it.
Yeah, so the Facebook ad stuff right now, it is so fun, Dave, and the reason why it's so fun, I tell my clients, it's like where Google AdWords was back in 2006. Right now on Facebook, it's the Wild West. I don't know how much longer it's going to be that way. My guess is we got a good year before the gravy train days are gone, and then I think we're going to have another 2 to 3 years where it's still good, but it's a thinking man's game. And then after that, it's any man's guess. It may not even be Facebook anymore. I mean, 3 years in the tech industry, that's like, you know, a lifetime in dog years. So
He's somebody else. Who knows?
Right, exactly. And it's so cheap. I mean, it's so cheap. Like, one of my clients, we do webinars for her, and she uses the webinars as a lead gen. She gets them on a webinar. She does a great presentation, and then she offers a product at the end. And we're getting webinar attendees in her niche. And keep that in mind. Like, that's the whole key is every niche is different. You can't just go, oh, what's it going to cost me per click? I have no idea. What's it going to cost me per lead? I have no idea. It's all niche. It's area specific. It's where we're targeting, things like that. But for her webinar, we're averaging usually between $5 and $6 a registration. So that's not a click. That's you know, maybe a click costs us $1, and 1 out of every 5 people actually registers for the webinar. That's what we call a registration. So that's how we get our price point. Okay, $5 a lead. We know that on average it takes us 3 registrations to get 1 person on the event, and we know that out of every 10 people on the event, we're going to get 2 to 3 sales. So we know our numbers, and for us, it's just a matter of how many times can we do this, because it's profitable at $5 to $6 a registration. And we're just going to keep doing it over and over again until it stops becoming profitable.
Yeah, it'd be a crazy man to change it.
Yeah.
So you talked about the niches, and so let's talk about because I know you have realtors and you have the CPA or the accounting guy. What about, how do you think this would work for contractors?
I think contractors, to me, it would be a really fun area. And the reason is because there's a lot of unique things that you can do with local brick and mortar type businesses, which is what I would say a contractor is, even though you go out to someone's home and you do the job there. What you can do with Facebook that is really, really cool is you can do what is called a Facebook offer. And this is a little bit different than an ad. In fact, with a Facebook offer, you don't even have to have a website. So, I mean, how cool is that? Yeah, I'm sure you got contractors right now who are listening who are like, I don't have a website.
Right.
I can't do Facebook. Well, yeah, you can, because you do what's called an offer. And an offer is Facebook's way of saying a coupon. So what you can do with a Facebook offer is this. You can put out an offer and you can target a geographical location. So you're there in Florida. Let's say we're just going to take Tampa Bay. I know that's not the area that you work, but we're going to say Tampa Bay. All right, so we can target in Facebook. We want Tampa Bay, and we want Tampa Bay homeowners. And we're going to put out a coupon or an ad for 20% off a roof cleaning, or a $50 gift certificate for a house repainting, or whatever, right? Whatever the need might be that this contractor specializes in. And by running these offers, a couple of really cool things happens. One, we're not sending them to a website. What happens is it shows up in someone's what's called a Facebook news feed. That's that thing that you see right there in the middle of the page that has all of your friends' stuff in there.
Oh, okay.
And you'll see this offer, and you'll pick a picture, and you'll put the picture with it, and you'll put, here's what the offer is, and here's the key, by the way, put an expiration date. So this offer is good when you call before October 31st and schedule your roof cleaning. Or you call before October 31st and you have your house painted or scheduled to be painted, or whatever it might be. You got to put the expiration date, right? We got to have a reason for them to take action, not just to get this coupon, but to actually take action. And it's going to have on the bottom right-hand corner, at least today, this is what it's got. It'll say a little button that says Get Offer. And all someone does is they click that button. That's it. When they click that button, Facebook emails them, not you, mind you. You don't even have to have an autoresponder, and if that's a term you don't even understand, doesn't matter because you don't need it.
Wow.
Facebook emails them all the information that you've told Facebook for them to redeem that coupon, which if you're a contractor is, call this number Monday through Friday. You got to schedule it before such and such date, and we'll come out there and do our estimate, or however it is that the contractor needs to do it. And now a couple of other things are going on here. One, you're just going to be notified, hey, someone had asked for the offer. Just like any other coupon, you don't know who's got the coupon, and really you don't really care who's got the coupon. You just want to know who's going to call you, right? You want the inbound call.
Sure.
So it might take 5, 10 people, I don't know what it's going to be in your area and for what your offer is, for them to ask for the offer to get one of them to actually call you. That's where you're going to get your customer acquisition, or not your customer, your lead cost.
Right.
And you're going to see, out of how many people call you, how many of them do you actually get the business on, that kind of a thing. But if this is someone who calls you because they got a coupon, for $50 off, or 10% or 20%, whatever it is, it's usually something that we would call an irresistible offer, where they look at that and they go, wow, 20% off roof cleaning? Hey, I just got a letter from my association telling me I had to clean my roof. And this guy's going to give me 20% off, I'm going to call this guy. That's a hot lead, because that's someone who's raised their hand and said, I need what you got. And you want to have a follow-up system in place. So, by the way, Dave, this is what I train the companies that hire me. This is what I train their admin staff and salespeople, whoever's answering the phone. One of the very first things you've got to do is you've got to say, hey, you know what, thanks so much for calling in. I really appreciate that. But in case we get disconnected, let me just take a quick moment here and get your name and your phone number so I can call you back if that happens, right? because we're generating leads. Now, I'll tell you what happens in most businesses. Someone calls in, hey, you know, I got this $50 off coupon. I want to know how much it's going to cost. Ah, well, you know, it's going to cost you $400. Okay, thanks. Click. And you got no way to follow up with that person.
Sure.
We're generating leads. We want to then follow up with them. So when they call in, hey, thanks so much for calling in. I appreciate that. Let me just take a quick minute here. Let me get your name and phone number in case we get disconnected. I can call you back. Oh, okay, great. You know, it's Bob Smith, and my phone number is 555 blah 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 blah. So that's what your contractors want to be doing every time. I don't care where you get a lead. That's what you want to be doing. And if you're not answering the phone, if you've got admin staff, you're training them on that. And by the way, if they don't do it, you're inviting them to leave your company because they are killing your ability to make profit.
Sure.
You got to get them trained to do that. So anyway, back to the coupon. So all they're doing is they're clicking on that get offer coupon. Now, a couple of other things are going to happen. Number one, it's going to say to the left of that on the ad how many people have claimed the offer. It actually says the words claimed offer, and it'll have 1, 5, 10, 100, 200, 1,000, whatever it is. That's what we call social proof. So as your ad continues to target more and more people see that and they go, man, there have been 1,000 other people that have taken this offer, or there's 100 other people or 10 other people. This must be a good offer. I'm going to go ahead and take this. And so you'll notice that your lead costs start to go down the more people that take it. At the same time, all of their friends will now see in their news feed, by the way, Dave just took this offer.
Oh,
and
wow.
their friends are going to go, oh, well, you know, Dave just took this offer. Maybe there's something here I need to look at. Then, this is the kicker to me, as you get closer to that expiration date, Facebook notifies every person who claimed the offer. By the way, don't forget your offer for this roof cleaning expires on the 31st, 3 days from now. You might want to hurry up and take advantage of this. You got Facebook reminding them for you. Excuse me. So, Dave, my point is, when it comes to contractors, you guys get to do a lot more than the average guy. In fact, I actually prefer working with businesses that are brick and mortar like that because it's really easy for us to generate business because all we're doing is going, hey, what's the best ad that you've run in the paper? Oh, well, you know, we've got this coupon. Great. We're going to take that, and we're running that sucker on Facebook, and we're going to start generating leads there.
Wow. That's pretty amazing that you can do all that stuff, not need a website, not need an autoresponder. You can be basically technically illiterate and still get it done.
Yeah, you just sit back and let the leads come to you. Let the leads call you. In fact, I got one dentist office right now out in Arizona. I live in California, as you know, Dave, and I've got a dentist office out in Arizona. And for them, to me, it's like the easiest thing in the world. Because here's some of the different campaigns that we're doing. We're doing, your kid gets a free 6-month exam when you come in for yours, because we're trying to get families in there.
Yeah.
Now, from the dentist point of view, really what they want are bodies through the door, because if you've ever gone to the dentist, you know you're going to get the upsell, right? I mean, it's like every kid before, basically college age, teenage on, you're getting the, oh, by the way, you got to have all 4 of your wisdom teeth pulled. It's the upsell. That's where they're making their money. So we're coming up with every kind of offer you can possibly imagine just to get bodies through the door, because that's what they want. So chiropractors can do that. And then for the contractors, all the contractors got to do is go, okay, I'm not a dentist, but how do I take this idea and how do I have my business? And that's really where we start to see some really creative stuff. It's, get one room painted, get the second one for free, or get one room painted, get the second room half off, or, and you just start thinking, what are different strategies that I can utilize these same concepts, and how can I apply them to my business?
Yeah, and you don't have to do any revenue sharing like with Groupons or any of the other places, social, some of those other places. And
in fact, I tell people whatever works on Groupon will work on a Facebook coupon, or the Facebook offers. So you can look at what is your industry doing on coupon or on Groupon and Living Social, and copy it and just do it direct with Facebook.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. That is just wild. And and because I'm going to do a series, uh, this will be in the midst of it for contractors for the holidays because, and you hear it with your real estate agents and other people too that, oh, it's the holidays, nobody's spending money. You know what? That's a bunch of crud.
Right.
Because people spend money when they want to spend money because they want to spend money. The holidays have nothing to do with it. They've already pre-planned on what they're going to spend their money on.
Right.
So,
In fact, I remember, as you know, I got started in the financial planning business. Is how I got into the whole marketing thing because I had to learn how to market my financial planning business. And we always hated December because December we're like, oh, everything slows down, and forget it from the 15th of December on until about January 15th. We're not doing anything. And lo and behold, if there wasn't one guy in the office who walked in on December 24th with 3 life insurance applications,
yeah,
he's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah,
people are always buying.
Yeah, people are always buying, and it's our mindset, And if you want to go on vacation for the holidays, that's fine, but don't force yourself to go on vacation because you think that no one's spending money because that's just not true.
Right. Exactly. It's not.
That is just wild. So, are you? A lot of my questions we already went through, which is pretty cool.
I didn't even give you a chance to talk very much, so that's kind of
okay. Cool. That's okay. I don't need to talk. It's all about. I want everyone to know about the exciting things about Facebook because now I just think it's awesome because you can run an ad if it works. Great. You want to do a mailing. That's great, but you've got something to play with to know whether it works right now. You don't have to wait. I think that's one of the big bonuses, and it's not expensive because, like you said, you can set up to $50. You can send it for less if you want, but
well, yeah, and that's actually a good point, Dave, that you bring up because I get this question a lot. People go, well, "What's the minimum?" Of course, the salesman in me goes, "Well, the minimum is 0. You don't like it, you don't do it."
Right.
But the reality is, as far as Facebook is concerned, you could tell Facebook you want to spend $1, and they go, "Okay, we'll run an ad until you've spent $1." Now, it's not going to do anything for you. And there are right ways and wrong ways to do things, and there definitely are tricks to the trade. So let me give you an important one. If you're not going to utilize a guy like me who knows how to run Facebook ads, the very first thing I would say is if you're going to test an ad for $50, don't tell Facebook, okay, I want to spend $50 and I'm going to give you 1 day. Because what Facebook is going to do is it's going to basically send a whole bunch of people to it, and it's going to burn through your $50. It takes, on average, 3 to 5 days for Facebook to really hone in and figure out exactly who the right person is. And what I mean by that is Facebook is tracking every step of the way. They're tracking who is taking the offers. They're tracking, in the case of a traditional Facebook ad, who's replying to the offers. They're tracking who is going all the way through and doing the opt-in, doing the registration, or even doing the checkout. If you tell Facebook to track that stuff, they will track it. So when you spread out your ad spend, like $50, if I were testing something, I would spend that $50 over 5 days. I would spend $10 a day. Facebook, by the 3rd day, is going to be really good at figuring out, okay, we've already started to see who's replying to this offer, who's replying to this ad. Those are the type of people we want to send to this. Facebook absolutely wants to give you who you actually want. So give them time to hone it. They realize if they give you the right kind of clients, you are going to spend more money with them. Yeah. And so they're not just trying to just send anyone to you. They want to send you the right people so you keep spending money.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to work it so that it works for me.
Yeah, in fact, my accounting client, his budget is $13.50 a day. I mean, that's what his budget is, and so we're spending that right now and just generating leads like crazy. In fact,
that's not going to break his bank. It's not going to. You don't have to worry about.
No, basically what he did was he said, I'm spending $400 a month on SEO. I'm going to take that $400 a month and I'm going to spend it over here. Because, it was the same gripe that I always hear when I do SEO, and that's, well, I don't see any clients coming from this.
Right.
Get it. This, you actually can see where the clients are coming.
And you're niching down your clients, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing that your people have to really realize. The real power of Facebook is how they let you target people. I mean, they let you zero in not just on geographics, but demographics, psychographics. You could tell them, okay, you know what? I only want homeowners that are making over $100,000 a year. I only want women. I want people who have elderly people living in the home. I want people who have kids living in the home. I mean, you can really just niche it down to whatever it is that you actually want and go at it like crazy.
That's wild. I had heard about a guy in Lakeland, which is not too far from here, and he's a handyman. And his thing is, we do what your honey won't.
Ooh.
And
target women on that one, that's for sure.
And that's all he does. He's got a Facebook ad that he runs, and it's to single moms and single women only, because they don't have a guy to fix things. And
that's a beautiful idea, man. That is a brilliant idea. I love it.
All the time, and he's real busy, and he does it for. I think his radius is like 20 miles out, and maybe more. But I mean, I wouldn't go 20 miles out. But yeah, and he's busy all the time, and it's just boom. So,
yeah.
I mean, for contractors, this could be just something that's awesome. Just another tool, really. Just another tool to get more business in. And now, with the holidays coming up, man, it could be a fun one. You know?
It really can. It really can. I mean, and you've heard me talk about this a lot, Dave, because you and I talk all the time. I'm really fired up about Facebook, and I am the guy who hates social media. Like, and people hear that and they're totally confused. I don't like social media. I don't like Twitter. I don't like Facebook. I don't like sit there and go, oh, I got a fan page and I'm gonna, put all this stuff on there. I don't give a rip about any of that. When I look at Facebook, I'm actually not using it for. I mean, I do use it for that stuff, but I don't focus on any of that.
Right.
I'm talking about just running a stinking ad. I had this one client. He said to me, he goes, you know what? I never click on any ads, so I can't imagine Facebook working. To which my reply is, okay, but if your competition decides that he's going to give it a shot, guess who's going to end up with all that business?
Right.
Because it does work. Just because you don't, use Facebook or click on Facebook, that doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just means it probably wouldn't work on you, and that's fine. There's plenty of people who it won't work on, which is why, Dave, you and I said you got to have more than one way to reach out to people.
Right.
It's got to be more than just Facebook. You got to have postcards. You got to do direct mail. You got to do newspaper ads. But we do want to track everything, right? We still want to know what's actually giving us the most return, so we know where to focus and what needs to be cut.
Yeah, it comes down to your actual cost per client and what you're willing to spend, and it doesn't matter whether it's Facebook or the newspaper, like you said, or a postcard. I think, though, and it's kind of funny that most people are enamored with the internet.
Mm.
And, of course, I'm an old guy, and I think a lot about old school. And I think of the internet as great, but it's just part of the umbrella of marketing. It's not the marketing umbrella.
Right. Yeah. No, that's such a key point. And that's a problem that I think a lot of businesses have. You and I have talked about it before. One is the loneliest number in business.
Right.
You've got one way to generate leads, and I don't care what that way is. I knew so many businesses that got most of their leads from telemarketing, and as soon as the do not call thing went into effect, their businesses were devastated, absolutely devastated. Well, if they had more than one way to generate leads, it'd be like, okay, well, I lost that one, but I still have these other 5 over here. Everything's good. I don't think everyone should take all of their money and dump it into Facebook. I would never tell someone that. I don't think it should all be SEO. I don't think it should all be Google pay-per-click. I don't think it should all be Pinterest or any of that stuff. even all direct mail for that matter.
Right.
I think people need to have multiple streams of leads bringing them business. That's the safest position to be in.
Yeah, because like we talked before, you don't know which one's going to work today.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
They
I
may
tell
work
you,
tomorrow.
like you, Dave, I love watching Shark Tank, right? I mean, I'm addicted to it like every other business owner I've ever met. Everyone's like, yeah, I love Shark Tank. And the ones that just like disappoint me the most is when I see people who are like, well, we've done all of this through word of mouth. We haven't spent a dime on advertising. And they say it so like proud, like they're proud of this. And if I were a shark, I'd go, all right, I'm out. Because what that tells me is, one, you don't know how to acquire new customers. You don't know where your new customers are coming from. And you've got no plan to grow this thing. You have to advertise to grow. You can't just rely on word of mouth. It's got to be more than that.
No, there's no consistency in word of mouth unless you have a program set in place to reward the word of mouth. Then it's an actual marketing campaign.
Yeah, well, now it's a strategy.
Yeah.
And even then, you wouldn't just rely on that. That would be part of the puzzle.
Yeah.
And an important part at that.
Yeah. So I know that you were talking about doing a podcast on Facebook marketing. Are you still thinking about that?
Yeah, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a short-run podcast, probably 15 to 20 episodes, just on Facebook marketing. And it's not probably, I don't anticipate it being like a weekly thing or a monthly thing or a daily thing. Really going to tie it in with the book, What Everybody Ought to Know About Facebook Advertising. And really, I mean, and I've told you this, I use that book because it generates business for me. In fact, one of my clients today, who's got a financial company out of, I don't know, I think his area code is 541. I think it comes in from like Oregon, but he operates in 5 different states, so I'm always totally confused about where he actually is. He calls me today and he goes, oh, by the way, we're going to be doing another campaign for my son-in-law who's in my office, and my brother needs to talk to you, so here's all his information. I want him to read the book, so can you send him a copy of the book? I use the book as a way to give people great information, but I also use it to generate new clients for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I can't put everything in a book. I mean, the technology changes too quick, so really it's what everybody ought to know. It's not every detail everyone needs to know about doing Facebook ads. I don't think that can be in a book. The technology is changing way too quick. And that's what I'm really hoping to bridge with the podcast will be, here's what's going on right now. Here's how you can utilize this right now. And obviously, by the way, if you'd like someone to help you, I'd love to chat with you about that.
Sure. Well, cool. Well, let's leave it at that. You can chat with Pete about your Facebook ads because he knows what he's doing and he's helping some people make money.
Let me give everyone my phone number if I can, Dave.
Oh, yeah, give us your phone number, and I'll post it on the website. I'll post a link to your book on the website, too, what everyone ought to know about Facebook advertising.
Awesome. Yeah, my phone number, go ahead and give me a ring, 714-657-3559. Again, it's area code 714-657-3559. That's my office line. You can just call it anytime you want. You get a voicemail. Go ahead and just leave a message, or if the line is busy because I'm talking to someone else, keep trying to call in.
I just had a thought about putting your picture on the podcast and on a little thing, like how you got the one where you're in jail and put, call me to get out.
I like it. Someone bail me out.
So this is actually, I think it's going to be like 41 or 42 number of podcasts. So that's exciting. Things have changed. Things are growing. And I really appreciate you being on the show, Pete, because this is an awesome topic. And it's hot, it's new, and it's bringing results. That's one of the key things that we like to bring our listeners is things that's bringing results to make their businesses grow and put more money in their pocket, especially now with the holidays coming up, man. Don't take a forced vacation. Do something on Facebook and put some more money in your pocket so you can take a vacation when you want to. Absolutely.
I mean, and really, I want everyone to leave with that thought. you can run an ad and this weekend have a client to work with. Like, that's the beauty of doing a Facebook offer. If I were a contractor, I would immediately, drive to my nearest computer, log on to Facebook, and figure out how I'm going to do it, because I'm telling you, that's what's going to get you a lead right now.
Hey, you know what? That's better than making a cold call.
Oh my gosh! I got into marketing, so I didn't have to call people.
I know. That's why
I'm going to call me.
All this stuff is I get people that they call me. Like I tell my wife, if I ever had to make a phone call to get business, I'd go on welfare.
Oh yeah.
Because I hate it.
Yeah. Just had a real estate agent tell me that last week. He asked for my help to help him reaching people that have expireds, meaning they put the home up for sale but it didn't sell. It's called an expired.
Yeah.
And so I was asking him, I go, well, because he's like, hey, I'm getting daily emails. We've got it set up to trigger to give me a daily email. And I go, well, does it have phone numbers? And he goes, Pete, I don't want to call anyone. I go, no. Facebook actually lets you upload people's phone numbers, and then we can run ads directly to those people. And
wow.
I mean, that's a whole other thing. We didn't even get on any of that. But I mean, yeah, you can upload emails, you can upload phone numbers, and tell Facebook, okay, I want to start running ads to these people. What I tell a lot of my clients is, let's take all the phone numbers of your current client. We upload that into Facebook, and then Facebook will even let us do what's called a lookalike audience. And we go, okay, Facebook, we want more people who look exactly like these people. And Facebook's got all of your information. I mean, it might scare you because it's Big Brother, right? Yeah. But they know every page that you said, oh, yeah, I like this article. Oh, yeah, I like that. They got your demographic information down, right? And so when you go, I want more people like this, they go, no problem. No problem, Dave. We'll give you more people just like the clients you already got. Here you go. And usually it's a list of like 1 million, 2 million people, and you're like having to hone it down. Okay, no, I just want them in Tampa Bay and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's really an awesome thought, because I know that there's a lot of guys. I'll ask them, well, what's their target market, and they'll go, what is that? So that makes it easy. Put the list of all your clients into the Facebook, and they'll make lookalikes, and they'll contact them, and people like them, and now your target market is in Facebook.
Exactly.
And if they make it much easier, we'll have to pay somebody to do everything for us.
Well, and that's what I'm here to help with.
All righty. Pete, thanks so much for being with us.
No problem, Dave. Again, you guys can reach out to me at 714-657-3559. I'd be happy to chat with you.
All right, and we'll put that on the website, and I'll put in a creative picture.
All right, sounds good, Dave. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks.